Happy Friday, everybody. Today we're looking at Microtrain's 40-foot boxcars. So in a world of ever-escalating prices, this is going to be a bit of a reprieve from that, and that's kind of a nice change of pace. I've had these particular boxcars since kind of the beginning of this layout, so they've had some run time on them. I generally, I'm not too much of a stickler for period correct rolling stock for my models. However, you got a steam engine. I like to see the catwalks and whatnot, so that's kind of just my own personal taste there. But whatever you do is on you, and this is my fantasy layout, so I'm going to do it how I feel. But these have been kind of my go-to for boxcars for kind of my steam era stuff for a while, and they're similar to say that first video that I did, my Empty Wallet Wednesday, where I did a truck change on some of those Roundhouse boxcars, and maybe next week that'll be one of my videos, since it seems like prices are getting out of control. I'll look at some of the various types of those Roundhouse boxcars, but for today we're going to look at these, and they're kind of the standard for what I would consider budget boxcar rolling stock for kind of that steam era. And even right now, with prices escalating out of control, these are holding a really good price used on eBay, and that's where I've picked up all of my steam era stuff. To be honest with you, I've picked it up used, and honestly, I've had really good luck with these, and so I figured probably time to review them and let the community see these if you haven't seen them before. If it seems like there's kind of a lot of jump cuts in here, my kid had kind of a rough night, so tad squealy this morning, but we'll try to work around that as best as we can. But let's just go ahead and grab one of my examples that I've got here and take a look at this. Compared to more modern rolling stock, it doesn't quite have the detail level that you might expect, but for its current price, it's actually a relatively good deal. One thing nice about this is the molding is rather deep on like the doors and the ladders. It's, easily definable and super easy to see. There is some like rivet bolt work on there that is visible. The roof and the catwalks are pretty nicely put together, really. These you will see them most of the times with the actual Microtrains. These are short shank trucks. I don't believe these are period correct. I bought these without any wheel sets on them, and I ended up just putting these on. I got a really good deal back in the day because, I don't know, the guy ruined them or something, but he was selling these super cheap, so I picked up a lot of like 12 of them for like $25. It was an awesome deal. Much like the Microtrains 60-foot boxcar we looked at last week, it has pretty nice undercarriage detail. And the ends, if I can get this into view here, brake wheel is nice and defined and looks like it is separately applied. And you get nice deep molding there. Makes everything really well defined. If you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. They're all pretty much the same. There's, I'm going to exaggerate, but a billion different paint jobs and whatnot you can get for these. They had to have built these for a long time. There's so many different options out there on eBay. It's ridiculous. So there's lots of used options available for these things. The newer ones I'm seeing going for roughly $25 to $30 on eBay, but honestly, I don't think that's where the deals are at. If you If you look around, there are lots of used deals on these in the $15 range, shipped a lot of times. And although I picked mine up for a substantially better price than that, being what the market is, $15 for these is a darn good deal. Since we looked at the UP here, I figured maybe it would be pertinent to, I grabbed these two because they have a slightly different body design. This in my collection is definitely the more common of the boxcar designs, but I do have a few examples of those. They're actually probably a little bit nicer detail. If I grab the Illinois Central here, the bodywork is a little more refined, I should say, on that. Everything else is about the same, really. Again, picked these up super cheap used as part of a lot years ago. Some of them had trucks on them, some of them didn't. But anyway, some things that you might be need to be aware of when we're looking at these. They generally run with short shank microtrains wheel sets, and so in consist with one another, they have an excellent, nice, close together, coupling distance, and down to say 9 inches or so, minimum turn radius. These are pretty good. Much tighter than that, and you're going to start seeing the edges start to, run into each other there. I don't really have any of those situations, but I've heard of people that have ran into that issue. These also suffer from, if you didn't see there, the microtrains wibble wobble. Not much you can do about that. It's just something to be aware of. But the one thing that I do think you really need to do on these, and I have not done on this particular set, is at some point you'll need to pop the bottom out and go ahead and add some weight. They're a little light, in my opinion, for they have some tracking problems until you add a little bit of weight, especially pushing these through turnouts. There's not enough to hold them in the rails properly. I forget, I think it was half an ounce is all I added to the other ones, and they smoothed right up and started tracking really well through all my turnouts. So that being said, at that $15 price point, adding a little bit of weight is not that big a deal. Especially on used rolling stock, there's not much you could do about it. If you were buying these new, I would hope they would be properly weighted, but really not that big a deal. So yeah, all said and done, I have really enjoyed a lot of these. If you go back and find some of my pre-review runs for my steam engines, you'll see some of these in consist occasionally. They run really nice. I've got several videos of these in my daily reels or whatever. They're just nice looking 40-foot box cars, and for that $15 price range, at least right now, there's not a whole lot of better deals out there. I don't think you would go wrong picking up a bunch of these for your steam era type stuff. So anyway, thought I'd share this since prices are getting crazy, and it's nice to have one that isn't such a burden on the wallet every once in a while. So have a good week, and I will see you this Sunday for the review. Bye now.